how to get your name in that conversation. You have to really believe in 6 degrees of separation. It was interesting to hear on the video someone say, even in a room like this, you guys should be trading each other's information, because it's hard to really appreciate how close you are to certain opportunities. And it's just a matter of getting that business card. I know people don't do business cards anymore, but it's getting, that contact or that email address, or, maybe getting that coffee or asking someone to facilitate an introduction for you. You never know what'll take you. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, right? I was probably about as far as you could be away from where I am today. But there was an agency that happened to be headquartered in my hometown. And everyone that said they knew someone that worked at that agency, I asked them to take my resume. I asked them to help me get an interview. A lot of these people didn't really have the relationships they said they had. Some did and really tried, and they gave my resume to someone and they didn't follow through. A handful of people really pressed it, and one person in particular got me in the door. What I learned when I got in the door for my first interview, and I met someone pretty senior at the company, he says, "You got a lot of friends." He says, "Everyone keeps talking to me about you," right? And so all these people that weren't getting back to me were doing something, and it eventually landed on this guy's desk. And then when I got in front of him, I was able to see it. So don't assume that oftentimes because you ask someone to help you, or because you send an email, or because you forward your resume somewhere, that people aren't following through. Some people are not. A lot of people are. So that's. I think in terms of like getting yourselves in front of the right people, you got to be persistent. You got to, knock on every door. You live in New York City. There are people all over the city, and you guys are in a room like this, which means you have a network and you're meeting people. You really got to be proactive about that. In terms of diversity, I think it's the other part. When I look at the other side of diversity, I talked about the corporate side. I think in terms of the applicant side, when you start to look at the market of people, I work in sports. 80% of the players on the court are African American, right? In my opinion, there's no reason we should not have a lot more people at the NBA, at Nike, at our agencies that are reflective of the guys on the court that they're doing business with. I think, should it be 80%? I don't know, but it should be a lot more than what it is, right? So I think it's just good business. If we want to, any company, if Nike wants to keep signing these generations of iconic talent, their workforce has to be somewhat reflective of the kids that they want to work with. So I just think it's good business in the industries you guys want to be in. I think it's the same in terms of females, all different ethnic backgrounds. So, we'll get there. I think my job now, in terms of where I'm in my career, is to be, help to hopefully be a gatekeeper in terms of opening those doors. And it's not to be, I don't want to be a hypocrite and be unbalanced in the other direction and say I'm only hiring this type of person. It's more to just be fair and balanced, because if we do it the right way, our workforce is going to be diverse.